that the Shanghai Cooperation Organization is looking into a Eurasian landmass settlement currency backed by gold. We just read that China and Iran are working on a gold-backed stablecoin for settlement in commodities. Gold will be the focus or the peg or the backing of a new system. A new system will arise, but like the West, where instant gratification is not fast enough, these guys don't play that way. These guys realize they get one shot at this and only one shot. And if you screw the pooch, you're done. They are laying a chessboard at our feet that when they finally say check or checkmate, it's too late. It's over with.
In a recent discussion, financial commentator Andy Schectman delved into his latest macroeconomic insights, shedding light on the evolving dynamics within the Brics group and the potential emergence of a gold-backed currency for trade across the Eurasian landmass. Schectman suggested that gold's value could surge, driven by a notable shift away from the US dollar as the primary currency for international trade settlements, particularly within the Eurasian Economic Union. The core idea revolves around the possibility of Russia, a pivotal member of Brics, securing the ruble's value by backing it with gold, thereby proposing a fresh trade settlement currency for the Brics nations. This becomes notable as Russia, alongside Saudi Arabia, Iran, and China, advocates for alternative currencies, possibly leading to a gold-backed currency for energy transactions. By aligning itself with Brics, the United Arab Emirates aims to strengthen its economic ties with China and India while gaining access to additional markets, including Russia, Brazil, and Argentina, which boast significant GDP figures. In essence, these countries are collectively working towards establishing a new financial system capable of posing a credible challenge to the dominance long enjoyed by Western currencies. Before diving into Andy Schectman's insightful interview, subscribe to our channel and give this video a big thumbs up.
Biggest thing that you take out of the meeting, well, several, but one of the biggest things is Xi Jinping saying openly that we need to create a new financial landscape, one that deals for the time being in local settlement between all of our countries that comprise this union. And he tasked the finance ministers of the countries to go back to the drawing board, come back at the next meeting with a combined or a common settlement currency. That would be the Brics currency that we have been told by the Russian finance minister for 2 years will be pegged to commodities. Let's not forget, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization is the largest regional financial and military organization on the planet. And in the span of 1 year, Iran has joined successfully the SCO and the Brics. You think they're afraid of Western sanctions anymore? No, they're selling their oil to China for yuan and immediately converting it into gold on the Shanghai Gold Exchange. Now they're part of the Brics. They can start doing trade in all of these countries. So I'm going to give you one more example of something that happened since then to kind of underscore that. And that is a deal that is in Iran, where they just struck a deal. A Chinese firm has secured a contract from Iran to upgrade Iran's major international airport. But Peter, wait till you hear how they plan on paying for this, right? So talk about the way these deals are being made, sidestepping the dollar, which you keep doing deals outside the dollar, the settlement value of the dollar starts to, at some point, erode the lack of settling in all of these transactions, which always used to be dollar denominated, creating a synthetic demand for the dollar. If you stop settling in the dollar, and the lack of settlement demand for the dollar at some point will greatly erode the reserve value of the dollar. But listen to what they're doing right now, keeping in mind that next year we may see a joint settlement currency, the Brics settlement currency pegged to gold or something along those lines. That's what they were told to come back next year with. And they publicly said that. But listen to how they're doing things now. So this Chinese firm was awarded a large contract to upgrade Iran's largest international airport. And when you hear how they're paying, it will make a little more sense. The deal is worth $2.7 billion. And the company that was selected to carry out the project, and again, they supposedly had negotiations with several domestic and international contractors, but they chose a Chinese firm. And the way that they're going to get paid is a barter mechanism that allows Iran to swap crude oil for financial resources, equipment, and technical services. But that's why I talk about logarithmic decay and the game Jenga, where you pull one piece out one at a time. What's the one piece that makes the whole thing tip over? Or in logarithmic decay, when do you hit the falls? And I think we're getting to that point, Peter. And just because we didn't see the earth shatter and gold go to the moon and a new Brics gold-backed currency come out on the 22nd, what we are seeing are the pieces on the chessboard, little by little, very methodically, very plottingly, very well thought out, being put into position to get to that moment. And that's something that I think is at this point becoming incredibly probable. In a world of no guarantees and only probabilities, I've never been more certain that this is ultimately where we are heading.
Andy Schectman underscored the significance of the recent Brics meeting, shedding light on its expanded membership and the hints it dropped about a closer collaboration among various international organizations. However, amid the limelight, a less noticed but crucial development was the long-standing tensions between two prospective Brics members, Egypt and Ethiopia, revolving around Ethiopia's Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam project, which is now in its final stages of completion. Brics, by extending membership invitations to Egypt and Ethiopia, has effectively absorbed a complex regional conflict into its fold. This move has triggered questions regarding the group's capacity to influence and shape global affairs amid intricate regional disputes. As Andy pointed out, there is a gradual but discernible trend among nations to form alliances to reduce their reliance on the US dollar and challenge Western hegemony.
When we look at what happened with the Brics meeting, there are people pushing back and saying, well, that nothing really huge happened. I disagree completely and totally. I think those people are the ones that have been indoctrinated into instant gratification not being fast enough in a country where over the last 4 years, the Fed created more money than in the history of it prior, while suppressing interest rates. That created distortions in asset prices where everything just flew up fast and faster and faster. And that's not how things work. So when you talk about these countries, China in particular, they think in terms of years and decades, and we think in terms of minutes and seconds and weeks. It's a big problem when you're trying to discern the chessboard that is being laid in front of our feet by these nations. So look, you have Saudi Arabia, Iran, the United Arab Emirates as 3 of the 6 new countries that have joined. And in that you have 3 of the largest oil producers on the planet. You have Argentina, which is also a major agricultural producer, but most people don't know they're the largest producer of natural gas in South America. You have Egypt and Ethiopia. Well, Egypt controls the Suez Canal, and Ethiopia is the fastest growing economy in Africa. The president of Belarus just came out proposing to hold a joint summit between the Brics 11, that's the original 5 plus the new 6, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and the Eurasian Economic Union, with a vision of convergence of these multilateral organizations. And you'll see it. And you will see these groups join together. And I think that it is very, very, very likely that before the next meeting in Russia next year, you will see all of these organizations join together in their multipolar trade and settlement agreements for, the majority of the world's commodities. One other thing that I took away from the meeting that, again, the Western media, as we talked about earlier, I mean, they're just crap. They tell us all the wrong things. They focus on all the wrong things, and they don't tell us exactly what we need to know. But that is, I hear a lot of mainstream pushback and say China and Russia, China and India don't like each other. And I mean, there's of course there's information to support that, the Kashmir area that has been fought over for years. Well, here's something that the Western media didn't really pick up, and I'm going to read this to you verbatim. Chinese President Xi Jinping and Indian Prime Minister Modi agreed last week to seek a resolution to years of tensions along the Himalayan border area. Indian Foreign Secretary Vinay Quatra stated that Modi has spoken to Xi on the sidelines at the Brics summit in Johannesburg. Modi highlighted India's concerns about the unresolved issues along the line of actual control, which serves as the effective India-China border. The 2 leaders had agreed to direct the relevant officials to intensify efforts at expeditious disengagement and de-escalation.
Schectman highlights a recent noteworthy event as an example of these emerging trends: a Chinese company securing a substantial contract to upgrade Iran's primary international airport. Rather than utilizing US dollars for payment, an alternative method was employed. This development closely follows Iran's acceptance as one of the 6 nations invited to join Brics, an economic alliance challenging the established global financial order led by the United States. Will the Brics Group, with its expanded membership and ambitions for a gold-backed currency, truly challenge the established global financial order dominated by Western currencies and institutions? If the video resonates with you, join our community by subscribing to our channel and enabling notifications with the bell icon. Thank you for being a part of our community.